This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to this week's edition of Paradise, Louisiana. I'm Gary Risponi. Back here on Segan Lane, Superior Bait and Tackle. I want to welcome y'all back to us, and I want to talk a little bit about the sponsors, but I got some sponsors that have been on years and years. And especially this year I want to mention a super one, all right? The number one sponsor that's been with a long time is Farm Bureau Insurance. I remember during Katrina and Rita and everything, I was hunting in the Southwest, and I have a friend that's an insurance agent, an independent insurance agent. His insurance, his farm and his house, and all of them was with Farm Bureau. And he told me, he says, they pay claims faster than anybody. I want to thank Farm Bureau for all y'all do, all the football games and all the things in the public that y'all sponsor. And then later on, I'll mention a few of my other sponsors. Like my good buddy, the big outdoorsman at Benny's Car Wash. So I'm going to come back. I ain't going to leave nobody out. I promise you. I'm going to get back and talk about a lot of these sponsors like Coca-Cola and all the other ones I had for years, or I don't have now, but still I want to brag and talk on them. This week, something special. I had Chris Lecoq has been so busy with everything. He had a day off, and I had him in the boat, and I had him produce the show. This is like he wants it. This is what he did. We was with one of the best around, Mike Gallo, Captain Mike Gallo, Angler Adventures of Louisiana. And to make it even more fun, we had Jeff Brenner, one of the I call him big shots. He don't like to hear it, but one of the producers and the general managers at CST. So watch this. We caught a lot of fish. I say not a lot of fish, but we caught some beautiful speckled trout and had a great day. Beautiful weather. Stay tuned for Paradise, Louisiana. I got a good fishing report, and I got some outdoor photos.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
My name's James Loop, and I won the 2020 Chevy 1500. It was first day at roughly 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. I was like, let's stay fishing, and she's like, maybe we need to get back to the launch, Yeah, I had a blast. It was a great summer tournament. Thank you, Super Chevy dealers, for my 2020 Silverado.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
double trouble action going on here. It's a chunky bass. So, the last couple episodes, it's been brutally cold, and we've been in those dead end canals, deep man-made dead end canals. Now we're mixing it up a little. We're coming to the marsh. These are natural canals, windier bayous, but these are like the ones I like in the wintertime, deep water fishing. So the last episode you saw us talking about fishing creature baits, Texas rigged weedless because of some laid over logs and stumps in the ground. This is all marsh. This is open, easy to fish, open face jig head, definitely the way to go. We're going with the green hornet, catching some chunkies right here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we run into a few reds. Yeah, like I was saying, the last few episodes were really cold days, hard northwest winds. Today it's nice and calm. It's chilly, but we can shed the jacket today. Not as brutally cold, and that's when I like to fish the man-made canals, is when it's like unbearably cold, plus you're protected from the wind. Nicer days, I'd rather come out to the marsh and get in on you know, a little bit shallower water. These fish are still pretty cold when I touch them, and we're gonna get in some action here. We'll see if we can run into little schools of reds. Right now we're in a little patch of bass. Might be a real red. Nope, nice bass. Nice ones. Chunky ones.
I got one.
You know, a lot of people are like, why aren't you guys trout fishing? Or, you know, of course we'd love to be doing that, but I'm the type that whatever your estuary is giving away at ease, that's what we're going to attack. You know, in the last several weeks, ever since it got chilly, the bass and reds have been just unbelievable, especially the bass. I mean, we can come out here and catch 20 to 50, maybe even 100 of these a day, and it's just extremely entertaining. One of my favorite things to do. Like right now, you could go down to the wall after a cold front like this and do well with, here, you got a fish. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I've been
hit him.
having them.
Good, hit him out. Cameraman's just holding the pole, and a fish is on there. Oh, you saw him come off. But we didn't really get a good hook set there. He just got the pole sitting there filming, and then there's a fish. But, you know, you can catch some trout at the wall right now, especially post front like this, no problem. But a lot of boats out that way, you know, they're catching them pretty good, but a lot of days it's a grind, it's a hustle. I just really enjoy catching a lot of fish, you know, and I really enjoy not being around a lot of boats. And in the wintertime, our marsh bass in Louisiana, they really gang up, and they're very entertaining to catch. And if you like eating them, I mean, it's a fantastic table fare. Fried, they taste just as good as speckled trout. And it's really mind-blowing to me how overlooked they are in our estuary. I mean, you could go to the wall right now where there's some trout, and you're going to see 40, 50, 60 boats. Or you can come back here and be the only boat in the marsh and catch all the bass you want. And there's no secret spot to this, guys. I'm talking about anything off the Wrigley's, the ICW, the Chef, Unknown Pass. If you are at the wall, that's what's great about the wall. You can hit the trout early, and then once the trout, you know, you get your fix with that, you get into the marsh, find you some deeper winding bayous, and you can blister the bass over there too. But today's goal is definitely to just catch fish, catching some bass right now. And the cool thing about this is you can run into a limit of reds on any given turn. That one, there he is. There he is. And there we go, another bass. What do you know? Fish on. Ooh, nice bass. Nice bass. Ooh. These are some chunks here. You know, big marsh bass, as you saw we did catch a monster a few episodes ago. That was a 5-pounder, but that's a big marsh bass. That's a legitimate 2.25 pound bass. That's a really good fish, and that's what you're looking for out here. A lot of fun. And what we're doing right now in this winding bayou is they got a little grass edge line. Nothing too thick, but I'm just trying to, I got my polarized glasses on. I can see where the edge line ends, and I'm simply painting the edge of that grass, dribbling that matrix shad across the bottom. John's using a tiger bait, I'm using a green hornet. Both fantastic marsh colors in the wintertime. Green hornet's like a baby bass color. We went over that last couple episodes, and you saw how effective that is for bass fishing. And you could use whatever jig head you want. There's not a lot of current in here. You could use a 1/4, 5/16, 3/8. That's up to you. And I mean, oh, there he was. Missed it. That wasn't a big one. That was about a 10-incher. I mean, you just catch fish after fish after fish. You just easy fishing, a lot of fun. But you see up here, there's a little duck pond. That's about a foot and a half deep. This bayou we're in right here, dead in the middle, is about 10 foot. And that's what happens in the wintertime is the water drops out. It gets cold in them shallow flats. And the fish just suction into these bayous, making it where they gang up and real easy and fun to catch. You know, if we had to cover a ton of water and make a million casts to catch 10 or 20 bass, I wouldn't be that interested. But when they're just piled up in these little ditches like this and you can catch them one after the other, it's so fun, so exciting. Double up. Double up. You got a red. I might have one too. There you go. I think I got one with you. And look at that. We've caught 7, 8, 9 bass in a row. Haven't seen a red yet in this bayou. And then we double up on some rat reds. Nice fish. Yeah. That's a big old bass for a finger through. That's what I love about the marsh when I'm bass fishing, is that the reds are mixed in. If it was purely bass, I would do it a little bit, not quite as often. But when I know I got a shot to catch a limit of reds with them, I could do this every day. Look at him chomping on that green hornet. And let me go ahead and make another cast in here and just kind of show you the layout and why this spot is obvious gonna be good. So we're coming over a shallow flat into a deeper bayou. You can see the bayou narrowing up. The more narrow the bayou a lot of times, the deeper it can be. If you look on the bank right there, we got an incoming tide coming in right there. Whether it's fall or incoming is irrelevant, but when you go from deep to shallow and you got current on it, that's prime time. Let's see what we got right here. So right up on the edge of that grass, just little dribbles off of it. Now I watch my line real close in case I hit a gully of 6, 8, 10 feet. I know to pause that lure and let it get down a little bit more. The more I cast back to the left, the shallower it's gonna be, as I know that's like a big flat. The more I cast to the right into this bayou, the deeper it's gonna be. And you gotta watch your line, because what you want to be doing is bouncing it off the bottom. And if the depth contour is changing, you're not going to know unless you're watching your line. That it's going to tell you when your lure's getting to the bottom. We picked up a few fish right there as we entered this. Beautiful day today too. Let me throw one back shallow again. So if it's shallow, you can just start bouncing it as soon as it hits the bottom. Because, you know, it's only 2 foot. It's a lot shorter cadence, you know, pop, pop, railing you slack, pop, pop. If it's deeper after you pop it, you have to wait for it to get back down to the bottom. All right, so we must have milked this little point right here. So now we're gonna enter this bayou. So when I chunk it up in here, I know it's gonna get deeper here. You're just gonna see how my cadence changes. So I'm shallow up on the bank. Pop, 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 pop. Now I gotta wait for it to come off that slope. A little bit more time between pops as it falls into that 6, 7, 8 foot of water. That's why watching your line is so extremely important. Try this side. You always want to try both sides of the bayou. If you got an angler with you and the bayou's kind of tight, narrow like this one person should be fishing one side, one person should be fishing the other. That was a fish right there. Oh, I missed him again. That way, oh my goodness, this one's making a fool out of me. Give me 3 chances. 4 chances. You shouldn't have came for the 4th chance, buddy. That's it right there. So if you saw like the positioning of that cast, I came right down that grass line, which is primo for bass. And that fish hit me 4 times, or it was probably a school of 4 or 5 of them, and this was the unlucky one. That's an acrobatic, dude. He is not happy. So now we got our limit of bass. Oh, let me get this little guy out of here. Look at him fanning his tail. I know that's some type of spawn ritual, but they surely shouldn't be spawning yet. But I'm no bass expert. I just know that seeing deformed tails like that's pretty common. Anyway, we got our bass limit already. In Louisiana, it's 10 per person. Where we fish here, there's no size limit. Typically want to keep them anywhere from 11 to 13 inches is a nice one. If it's a real big one, you know, over 2.5 pounds, we let them go a lot of times. But what we're trying to do now we got to weed through the bass to try to find the reds, which there's a good bit of reds, but a lot of the reds are throwbacks. Like this one's close right here. He might make it. Pretty close. But that's what we're gonna do now. So we got our bass. We're gonna just sit here and jack their jaw a little bit, catch and release. We're gonna try to catch our limit of this, redfish. And that's what's so cool about Louisiana is you can catch multiple species limits. You know what I mean? What other state can you do that? Catch 20 bass, 10 reds in one day of fishing. I mean, it's just awesome. But that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out, see if we can get on a limit of reds using the Green Hornet Matrix Shad on our Black Platinum jig heads. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dockside TV. Again, catching bass and reds. This time we're in the winding bayous of the marsh off the intercoastal in Louisiana. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to subscribe to our Matrix bait box to get your hands on some more of these Green Hornets as we showcase how effective they are. Come get in on this great bass and red fishing we have to offer here in South Louisiana. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, good fishing.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, For those who see the glass half empty. For those who see it half full. For those on the right. For those on the left. For those with nicknames. For those with curves. For people that cycle. For people that recycle. For BFFs. For frenemies. For those with style. For lovers. For families. For big families. For everyone.
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Benny's. They even washed my car for free. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Benny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny?
New Berkeley Fireline Ultra 8. It's rounder, smoother, and 4 times more abrasion resistant than original Fireline. Expect 10% longer casts and superb knot strength.
And you thought Fireline couldn't get any better.
That's what they call a thumper.
That's a fighter.
Look at him in the water. Look how fine they are. Look. Yeah, them were thumpers.
So it's been one of those days where you say you'd rather be lucky than good. Either way, we put some fish in the box and we bounced 3/8 ounce jigs on the bottom with matrix. We caught some on avocado, and we caught the majority of them on opening night.
First time I fished with Captain Mike. I done watched all the shows. Whoo! Go ahead, be a thumper. I love a thumper. All you gotta do is change bait. You listen to the captain. You know, when you're talking about fishing with Mike, you know, I can tell you the only time I've been, but I've watched him on TV for years. Not only he's entertaining, but he teaches you every time he goes out. It's amazing how he teaches. I don't know if he got other captains. I don't know if he have a book, but you better put one on the bucket list. If you want to know how to fish the Pontchartrain Basin, there's no one better. They might have an equal with Dudley and a couple of other ones and Chaz, but there's none better.
Well, I haven't figured that out yet. He keeps wanting to get close to that trolling motor. That worries me. Oh, it is a speckled trout. He just foul hooked. Yeah, I felt him looking at it. Think he'll jump? You know what I call that? Collateral damage. The one that bit me, I probably missed, but he was swimming close by. And when I set the hook, I got him. There's a new sheriff in town, boys. When we first got here, the tide was coming towards us through the opening in the bulkhead wall. Since then, the tide has turned around and going in the other direction. And I do have live shrimp in the boat with me, and I certainly brought those along in case the fish were going to be stubborn this morning. They'll always eat live bait. That's what they're eating when we're not throwing plastic at them. So sometimes you have to feed them what they're looking for.
There you go. Come on. Make a circle. Come on. There you go. That's it. Captain Mike. It did take me about 18 years to get in the boat with him. I've been watching him on TV and everybody's show with Don. But I'm telling you what, it was worth the wait. I think he was scared of the black cloud, but when you're good as Mike is at locating fish and teaching people a technique, I thought we were going to drop shot. This is the secret right here, matrix shad, opening night.
It's on.
What you think, Jeff?
This is the way to do it, Gary.
It's going to be on
Mike's put it all on.
It's going to be on CST.
That it will be.
Me in the outdoor block.
Hey Gary, is that CST? That stands for catching speckled trout?
Get in here.
Look at that, Jeff. CST, catching speckled trout.
This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.